Hi everybody, my name is Dave Marsh. I'd like to welcome you to this Matrix reverse prospecting tutorial. Now before I begin, I'd first like to mention that because each MLS has slightly different requirements, the system that we'll be using during this tutorial may differ slightly from the one that you're currently working with. Nevertheless, the functionality is the same, and for the most part, whatever you see during this tutorial, you'll easily recognize in your own system. Now I'm going to take for granted that everyone knows how to log into the system, so we'll start by inserting our user ID and our password, then click Login to begin. Alright, today we're going to take a look at reverse prospecting, or in other words, we're going to see how a selling agent can easily see which buying agents have customers that may be interested in their property. Next, we're going to contact a buyer's agent with information about one of my properties for sale, and then from the buyer's agent's perspective, I'm going to show you how to identify which of their contacts was initially sent the property. Alright, so for this example, we're going to assume that I'm a selling agent who has recently scheduled an open house for one of my properties. Now in addition to my normal marketing campaigns, who better to share this listing with than the people who have already expressed an interest in my property? And of course, the best way to find these people is by running a reverse prospecting search for anyone who has previously been sent this listing. Alright, so let's begin by first accessing my active listings, specifically the one that's having the open house. Next, we're going to click the reverse prospecting button to generate a full list of all the buying agents who have at least one customer that was previously sent this listing. So let's go ahead and break down what each of these columns represent, starting with the reference number, which is essentially just a number used to identify who this buying agent's customer is. Matrix takes privacy very seriously, so it's important that I, as the listing agent, never have access to this potential buyer's name or their contact information. Next, we see that this prospect has already been pre-approved for a mortgage, and we know this because their agent, Robert Lawrence, has already indicated this information in the customer's contact management section. Now the count column represents the total number of properties that Robert's customer has been sent. Or in other words, my listing was one of 95 properties sent that matched this client's criteria. Beside that, we see the date my listing was actually sent, followed by whether or not the customer has categorized it in their portal. And in this case, we see that not only did Robert's customer recently receive my listing, but its potential buyer has already added it to their favorites. And this is great news because if I'm going to contact anyone about our open house, it's definitely going to be someone who has already shown an interest in the property. Alright, so in the next three columns, we see the buyer's agent's contact information. Now in addition to emailing or phoning the agent, I'm also able to message them directly from Matrix. More specifically, I'd like to let Robert know that he is a customer who has favorited my listing, and I'd like to invite each of them to my open house coming up this weekend. Alright, so now that my message has been sent, the buying agent will soon receive a copy of it in their inbox. And as we'll see in a moment, they'll also be able to read it from within Matrix itself. So let's go ahead and assume that I'm now Robert Lawrence, the buying agent, and I've just received an invitation from Dave Marsh for me and one of my clients. But because Dave doesn't have access to my customer's actual name, I'll need to take the reference number he provided, then enter it into the search box. And from here, we see it was my customer Sue who was initially sent his listing. In addition to this, we can also see a history of each reverse prospect message received pertaining to this specific customer. For a complete history of all of the reverse prospecting messages that an agent has sent and received for every contact, simply open the reverse prospecting email history section found under the My Matrix tab. And from here, you'll notice that as a listing agent, I'm only able to see the reference number of any person who has sent my property. But as a buying agent, I'm able to see exactly which contact the listing agent was referencing in their message, as well as view property details and email my contact or access my contact's personal information directly. Now, if you remember from earlier in this video, we were able to see as the listing agent which potential buyers had already been pre-approved for their mortgage. This information was included as part of the personal data that was at some point entered here by the customer's agent. In addition to this, if for whatever reason, A buying agent does not want a listing agent to see that their customer has been sent the listing, then the buying agent also has the option of disabling reverse prospecting for this specific customer. In other words, with reverse prospecting unchecked, no listing agent will ever see that their property was sent to that specific customer. All right, well, this concludes the Matrix reverse prospecting tutorial. I'd like to thank you for watching and hope that you can join me for another session. Take care.